Little Emma has just woken up from a nightmare. Scared and all alone, she cries out for her mother. But as Emma's mother explains, we're never really alone, as God gives us many angels to protect us. In the delightfully illustrated Wings Up, author Michelle Hydeck tells a wonderful story where one little girl is taught several methods to calm herself at night and take spiritual flight with prayer. She learns to overcome her fears and find faith and light in the dark hours of the night, all with a little help from her angels. Emma discovers there are many angels to watch over and care for her, and learns how to call them around her whenever she needs them. And then only good thoughts like presents, puppies, and butterflies will pass through their angels' wings, and all the bad thoughts and nightmares will stay out.
Welcome to Studio Access. My name is Joann Dunsing, and I am your host today. We have a guest by the name of Michelle Hydeck. Michelle is a friend of mine, but that's not really why she's here today. Michelle is here today because she is an author of 2 children's books that we have here on the table. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you for having me, Joann.
You
I'm
are
happy to be here.
I'm happy you're here as well. Do you mind if I read one of the paragraphs here that talks about you?
No, I would love that.
Okay. So, I love this book, Wings Up. So, Michelle Hydeck has been called to write ever since she can remember. It was while she was reading a short story that she had composed for her 2nd grade classmates that she very clearly heard in her own head her then 8-year-old voice say, "This is what I want to do for the rest of my life." Oh my gosh, Michelle, you know how many people don't know what they want to do? And there you are. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
I heard it very clearly in my head. It's a true story.
Oh, tell me about that experience in 2nd grade.
I was in 2nd grade at St. Mary's School in Milford, and we were in our class, and the teacher at the time said we're all going to write a short story. And I wrote my story, and you had to get up and read it in front of the class. And I read it, and the children in the class laughed at all the right times, or they got emotional at all the right times. Oh. And I can literally, to this day, in my saddle shoes, remember hearing in my head, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And it's been my journey to get here ever since.
And you know, that's so beautiful to be able to say that was, they laughed when they should have, they were emotional. That's a beautiful thing, because how many people are paralyzed from their first public speaking opportunity?
Yes.
So here you go.
Right.
You were meant to do it. You were meant to do it. And this book, Wings Up. Wings Up. What's up with Wings Up? Tell me about this book.
Wings Up, all with a little help from your angels. It was a book that came to me. That's how I write. I kind of get downloads and words, and then I just flow with it. And essentially, I was laying in my bed at the time, and I was going through a very transitional phase in my life, and I had some really tough decisions to make. And I was laying in bed, and women's brains, we can't turn them off. And so it was probably about 4 o'clock in the morning. I had been obsessing about everything that I was trying to figure out in my head internally. And I finally said to myself, okay, angels, no more thoughts. Wings up. Please shut off my female brain. I have to go to sleep now. I have to get up for work in a couple hours. And essentially fell asleep. And it became a mantra for me. I kept saying that to get me through that phase that I was in at the time. And at the time, my daughter was 7, my daughter Emma, and she woke up with a nightmare in the middle of the night. And it was starting to be a consistent thing. And I crawled in bed with her one night and said, "Emma, no more nightmares. Mom is saying this affirmation to herself, wings up. And if you say wings up to yourself, Mom's positive, no more nightmares. It'll be puppies and kittens and butterflies and candy canes." And so Emma started saying the expression, and it worked. And she didn't have any more nightmares. And I'm like, I'm on to something. And at the time, I've always known that I wanted to write, like you said. I was like, I have something here. I have an idea. And I could see the story coming about. And I was like, this might be the distraction I also need to get through the transitional time that I was in, because it was a very hard time and I love to write. So to me, it was the perfect solution. And I went about writing the book and eventually self-publishing it.
What about these beautiful illustrations? Did you illustrate it as well?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm a word person. I'm not a visual person. Quite frankly, the illustrations were the harder part of the book for me. The words come very easy. I don't see the pictures. So I went to a self-publishing company. They did it for me. They had their own artist, and the artist helped me. But I don't see vision. So I had to work really hard with them. They would see a picture or they would draw something, and I would be like, okay, can you make that rug a heart shape? I'm fine once I see part of it, but I cannot take words and draw a picture. So I was very blessed to have phenomenal illustrators. And at the time I went through Balboa Press, and they were wonderful.
Oh, that is so nice. Oh, so that is Wings Up. And then you have another book over there.
I do. That was my second book, and that's ABC Christmas. The story behind that book was cleaning out some of your old stuff from college, going through it, and I found literally a construction paper book for ABC Christmas, because at the time when I was in college, I'm dating myself a little, but no computers and all that, it was an assignment that I had handed in to my college professor for children's literature, but on the bottom of it was my brother's signature. He had also handed it in to one of his teachers for an assignment. It became a big joke between the two of us. And, and I eventually took the book and said, I'm going to turn this into ABC Christmas. And I was at a children's fair, church fair, selling books, and I came across a very talented young artist there who had done her own book, and I asked her if she would work in conjunction with me to make this book come to life as well. So we did this independently, the two of us.
The two of you did it independently?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What was that journey like?
It was a very good journey. Again, phenomenal. We were able to work with each other. Her name is Laura Byrne, and she, very talented artist, and she pretty much took the construction paper book that I had, and she turned it into things, and then we just worked together to iron it out, and then I self-published this one as well.
And how did you say you met her?
At a church fair. That's how I was originally selling my Wings Up books. At the time, I would go to various church fairs around the state of Connecticut to sell the book, the Wings Up book. And then I met her, saw her book, and the rest kind of was history.
Oh, that's beautiful. And it all came together.
It did all come together.
So we've got angels in this book, and we've got the ABCs in that book.
Correct.
Very different publications.
Very different publications.
So the ABC book, we know about Wings Up a little bit. What about the ABC book? What is in there?
It's literally a children's book, and it's exactly like it says, A is for angels, shiny and bright. Oh, what a beautiful sight. And it goes all the way through to the alphabet. So it's a learning book as well for children learning their ABCs with very beautiful illustrations.
That is sweet. So ages, are there any particular ages that are suggested for these books for self-readers? You know, like moms reading them to the young children.
The ABC book is definitely more for the younger children because it's ABCs and helping you learn it. It's more of a holiday book because it's ABC Christmas, so it's for around that time. But I will tell you, my Wings Up book, I think is more of a universal book for all ages, because the premise of the book is angels will always surround you. It's wings up, and you're surrounded by the angels, and that's how I told my daughter that she would be protected from the nightmares. I sold that book at children's fairs to people who bought it for other people if they were going through a divorce, or if they had cancer, or if they were going through a hard time in their life, to remind them that they're surrounded by angels and that they're always protected, and to think positive thoughts and to know that you're protected and guided.
Oh, that's sweet. That is sweet. So it's comforting, it's encouraging, and it's definitely got that message, you are not alone.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's so sweet. That is sweet. And so once you had that night with Emma, she continued practicing it?
Yes, absolutely. It's something we still say in our house to this day to remind us when we can start to go down the rabbit hole of negative thoughts. We remind ourselves, wings up, we're surrounded, we're protected, and to change our thought pattern and to try to look more for the positive and the guided versus trying to figure out things on your own.
Oh, that's sweet. And that's wonderful advice as well.
Thank you.
Angels, angels, angels. So is it one angel? Is it multiple angels in the book?
The illustrations are beautiful in this book. I have to say I'm very, very grateful for the way they took my words and turned it into a vision. There's a couple centerfolds in the book. One of them is an angel rising out of a box, which is to represent that the angel is the gift to you. And another one, which is pretty much the premise of the book, and that is it's a picture of Emma as a little child surrounded by angels with all the wings around them, and wings up, no more thoughts, because it's like the protective barrier of the rings of their wings keeps the negativity out and the positivity in, and that's how you feel safe and protected and loved.
That is so sweet.
Thank you.
So universal. I like that you use that word because it's so applicable. It's any age, because that is, that is something that we can all use.
I believe. I believe.
I like that, I like that, I like that.
Thank you.
Such an interesting journey with the two books being so very different. And Wings Up came first, and then it was the ABC book. And what are you working on now?
Well, I refer to it as my big girl book. I've always known that ever since that time when I was in second grade that I wanted to do what I call a big girl book. So I'm very into the spiritual and the self-help genre. So something in that kind of that genre is where I want to go next. And it's my big girl book, and I want to do something bigger and helpful and more with an adult theme than necessarily self-help than the children's book. That's where I'd like to go next.
The big girl book, have you got it started?
I have a title. I've been cold plunging for the last year of my life due to some outside circumstances.
You've been doing what?
Cold plunging.
Oh.
Starting in about October to convince myself that I could do hard things because, again, of another circumstance I am in my life. And the title came to me like I get the downloads and the words, and it was essentially the title of the book is Take the Plunge, Deep Dive Lessons for a Thawing Heart. So I'm going to see where that takes me.
For a thawing heart. Oh my gosh, I love it. And such a play on words.
Yeah, that's how the words come to me. I never know how they're going to come. So I'm going to run with it.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. So your big girl book, it's in the works.
It's in the works.
In the works. It's in the works. And these books are just so beautiful. They're both so very different. And as you were writing them, what was different about writing the ABC book?
The ABC book for me was pretty much already written because it was something I had handed in for a college assignment. So there wasn't a lot of writing involved in that. The Wings Up book was just the thought that came to me. And at the time when I went to do that book, there was actually two others that I haven't gone forward with. They're Wings Up, Wings Down, and Wings Together. That's how the trilogy kind of came to me. I haven't ventured into doing those yet, but the words just come and I go with it and see where it takes me.
Aha. So that really was a college project.
It was a college project.
And you just took it as it was.
I took it as I was and I went with it exactly how it was. It was construction paper. It's kind of funny how it was, and that's how I handed it in. I did get an A on the assignment though. And when my brother handed it in, he got a B+. So.
I was just going to ask you, what about Glenn? What did he get?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, so he took your book and he submitted it as his own college project.
2 years later.
2 years later.
The older sister.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that is so beautiful.
It's not the right thing to do. We do not condone plagiarism, but it's how many years ago, and you have to laugh about it. And it was a good memory and a good giggle for the two of us. So.
And construction paper, no
Yes.
less. Oh my goodness, that is so fabulous. So what is it that you would like readers to know most about Wings Up? Have you said it already? Or when you're talking about the books that you haven't written, bringing more of that in, you tell me, what do you want us to know that we haven't heard already?
Being who I am, Wings Up is very, very, very important to me because it's the concept of, and I'll use your words, we're not alone. We're not in this journey alone. We are very much supported. Another really interesting fact about this book is this book also, by the time the self-publishing journey was done, and I actually had the hard copy book in my hand, it was around, unfortunately, the Newtown crisis that had happened, and that's the point. It's the book, it's the support, it's the love, it's the guidance that we're not alone, that we're protected, that we're loved, and that there's angels around us all the time to take care of us and guide us. So that's the most important thing for me. I don't think we should go through this journey believing that it's all intellectual and that we have to figure it out ourselves. I think we are truly supported.
That is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. So I'm hearing that the words flow.
Yes.
They just flow, and that's how they come to you. So what's the hardest part about writing children's books for you?
Well, I did find the illustrations to be very hard because, like I told you, I don't see the visions. But in terms of the writing part, it is pretty much an easy concept for me. When the words come, I hear them over and over in my head, and I kind of can't shake them. The process kind of takes me over more than me delegating it. I'll try to shake the words, and I know that I can't, and I have to put fingers to keys or paper to pencil, and I just have to go with it and see what comes. So it's interesting because I don't necessarily know where their journey's going to take me. It takes me. And so for me, I never know where I'm going to go, and I just try to follow the process and not try to control it and let it flow.
That sounds to me like true creativity.
I would agree.
The flow, and the flow, and the flow. That's so good, because if you were to get in your head, then you would mess it all up.
It's very true. You can't fight the process. You have to let it come.
The process.
Yes.
And I know that you love it because since second grade.
Since second grade. It's what I've always wanted to do.
Nice, 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 nice. And have you got any encouragement for any people out there who are considering writing, but they have all their butts coming up? What would you say to them?
Probably don't wait as long as I did in between books. Do not let your inner critic deter you from doing something that you love, and to keep going with it, and don't put it down. Don't table it thinking that you'll get back to it. Keep going with the process, because it's going to be a very long journey from the time I self-publish these to when I do my big girl book. I wish that I had kept going more instead of listening to that inner voice. The same inner voice that told me I want to do this for the rest of my life was the same inner voice that said, you're not good enough for this, and it's not true. Follow the journey, take the steps, trust yourself.
Trust yourself.
And believe, the concept of angels, believe.
So you would refer to that as the inner critic.
Yes.
And that's really the loudest voice inside our head, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The inner critic is always louder than the positive things you have to say to yourself. But you have to silence that. And when you hear the little whisper, go with the whisper, not the loud inner critic. I think that's how you differentiate.
I like that. I like that, right, because there's that still, small, quiet voice, and stillness is where we hear things.
Correct.
It's where we truly feel things, where we just kind of get into the heart and soul and stillness.
Absolutely.
And I like that you use the word whisper. The whisper. And to go with the inspiration of the whisper, right?
Yes.
Oh my
Because the inner critic, if you think about it, is loud and noisy and frequent, and the whisper is a softer, I love your words, it's softer and it's more guidance. So you have to still yourself to hear it.
I agree. You can't be running around chasing your tail in that busy.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I was listening to something yesterday, and he was talking about taking time for stillness.
It's the key to the whole process, I believe.
Right, and then people say, well, I don't have time for that. But you're kind of saying, oh, but you must take the time for that, because that's where your creation flows from.
I agree.
Nice.
And I also believe that if you take the time for the stillness, everything else settles. If you do this, everything else around you kind of fixes itself.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
that's the premise of the angels. You don't have to do it all yourself. If you follow their guidance, their whisper, they'll help the rest of it fall into place for you.
That's nice. That's not a hard road. It's an easy road.
It's an easy road. I think we make it harder in our own head than it has to be by trying to take control.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that.
It's more of a surrender than a control.
Yeah. So illustrations being different in the two books. I mean, just looking at the covers, I can see how very different they are.
Yes.
And this process both went smoothly for you, right?
Yes, I went smoothly. They both went very smoothly, I'd have to say. But as you said, they're also very different. They were different processes. This was more of the independent, that I took more of the self-publishing route.
My goodness. So any age, it's encouraging. You talked about people can benefit from it who are in difficult times, such as divorce or sickness.
Yes.
Just wanting comfort, needing comfort. And it's a beautiful thing because you use the word universal. So it can be shared in so many different ways. It's not, well, age appropriate from this age to that age.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Now, I do love the illustrations. I can just feel the softness and the comfort and the presence.
The illustrations in that book were very much a blessing. I couldn't have asked for anything more. They were by far infinitely better than I thought they were going to be. So.
And so the words just flowed. It's not like you were stuck at any point. They just kept coming.
You are friends with me, Joann, so you know words are not something that I actually have a problem with. I'm a very verbose person. So, no, they flow. When I put fingers to keys, I'm not in control. I really do believe that I'm more of the vessel, and it comes. And so I have to, my hardest job would be fighting to control the words and not just letting them flow how they have to be, or my perfectionist tendencies that's not the right word, this is the right word. If I let it flow, I'll go back and edit, and then I figure it out as I go along. So
Nice. Oh, I love that. There's such an ease with your writing. Such an ease.
it is. I call it downloads. I get these downloads, and I have to flow with it. So
Nice. That makes it enjoyable for you.
it is. It's definitely a beautiful experience for me. I'm blessed to have it.
Oh, yeah. And do you prefer writing morning, afternoon, evening, weekends? How does that work for you?
Like I said, I'm hoping to do it more consistently. I think that's the key to writing for anybody who has to do it. It's consistency. But it's whenever the words come to me and I can't shake them. That's when I know, like, this isn't going away. So I have to do something about them, because it'll be going over and over in my head. I'll be doing dishes, or I'll be doing something. I'm like, enough is enough. Sit down, pick up the pencil, and do what you need to do, because they're not going away. And there's something to be said, some message to be related. And so I have to go with the process.
I love that. Oh, yeah, there's no room for the inner critic in that one, because...
No, I can't hide from it, essentially. I can't.
Yeah. Oh, that is so fabulous. Oh. So, let's see here, Michelle. Let's see here. So you're working on your big girl book. What is this cold plunging stuff?
Again, I'm going through that transitional phase in my life where I'm going through something very hard that happened in our family dynamic, and an inner knowing. It's a very hard thing. I've actually lost my brother, who I talked about taking my ABC book. He recently passed. And I needed to convince myself that I could do hard things. I'm very much into the spiritual, the clean, the alternative kind of ways. So I know about cold plunging, and so I felt like I needed to do something really hard and very inspirational for my brother, and to prove myself that I could get through it. And I started to cold plunge as a way to come alive again, feel a little bit less numb in the process of grief. And again, it was kind of a guided thing. I just knew I had to do it, and I did it. And I also said I did it for my niece and my daughter and my sister-in-law to prove to them that we could do hard things. So I started the process, and then I just kept pushing myself to keep going with it. And at some point, I took a class in here, a memoir writing class, and at Milford Education. And so that was dancing around in my head a little bit. And then when I took the cold plunge, I was in the water, and the title just downloaded, like I said. And my big girl book is something I've wanted to do since the 2nd grade. So I just know I have to run with it for the glory of Glenn, for my brother.
Well, Michelle, would you like to read from one of the books?
Absolutely. Mommy wrapped her arms around Emma, and Emma snuggled in under Mommy's arm, her head resting on Mom's chest. You believe in angels, don't you? Do you remember how Mommy told you God gives each of us many angels as his gift to us, to watch over us, protect us, and keep us safe? All we need to do is ask them for help when we need it. And this is how I got to the book, how the thought Wings Up turned into the actual illustration for Wings Up. This was the concept I had in my head all along.
Michelle, thank you so much. Those illustrations are beautiful.
Thank you.
You are welcome. And thank you so much for being here, for sharing the encouragement and the story of Wings Up and your ABC book.
Thank you very much for having me, Miss Joann.
You're welcome. Thank you for being with us here today. I hope you enjoyed Michelle's story. And remember, Wings Up, we are not alone. We look forward to seeing you again here at Studio Access.